Easy because of the weather today. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Coming back out here to do the work. Laborers working in the vineyard for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shabbat shalom, the water malak. We're in another Sabbath, Shabbat shalom. By the way, the Sabbath is based on the new moon, not Saturnalia, what these small hats do. Friday sundown and Saturday sundown. A lot of you camps are off. It's based on the new moon. And we can prove it too, using the scriptures. So there's a lot of cheerleaders out there. There's a lot of men just thinking they can just go along to get along. But there are no works. No fire is in them. The spirit or the breath has not entered into them. So this is not a spectator's endeavor. This is about hands-on experience, work. Experience means tried out. Before we go further, we're going to face the east. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kadash. Double honor and respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Much respect, love, and honor to the beloved brothers of the hopeful elect that are laboring diligently, helping to edify the body and feed the lambs of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And to the beloved ladies of the house of David that are sitting back and learning in meekness and humility. Shalom, Barakatham. We're going to go ahead and get into it. Yahweh Shai said, the work or the labor is great, but the harvest is great, but the laborers are few. So this is a hands-on endeavor. We got to get our boots muddy, so to speak. We got to get our hands roughed up through this labor. So we're going to start off.
Get that Matthew 9, we just quoted.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. See, that's the spirit. That's the spirit.
This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 9, verse 37. Then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the labors are few. Pray ye therefore, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, of the harvest that he will send forth laborers into his harvest.
See, so these laborers are the servants of the Lord. There was a man came on the comment board today talking about, I'm over 50 years old, and wherever I go, I just tell somebody about the truth. Hey, that's not laboring. Okay, that's hearsay. So he was telling me, you need to stand down, I'm the one to botch. No, you need to stand down. This is about doing the actual work. Coming out here on the front lines.
Can I back you up real quick?
Yeah, Bubba.
Because this is the brother talk. You can't just go and say, hey, this and that, blah, blah, blah. There's no sacrifice. There's no sacrifice. So let me read this real quick, man. Romans 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your what? Reasonable service, man.
So it's reasonable to put ourselves in harm's way.
That's right.
To sacrifice our bodies. Did not our Lord and Savior become a sacrifice? Was he not cut up, beat to mush, worse than Emmett Till?
Right.
See? So it's a shame to sit back and not put our hands on the plow. Let me go here. Jeremiah 3, verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion, and I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So if you don't work, you don't eat.
Right.
So the laborers are servants, the true men of the Lord, that are helping to prepare for the harvest, which is the end of the world. Let's go to Matthew 13, Baba Kasha.
Matthew chapter 13,
Yes.
verse 1. And it reads, the same day went Yahweh Shai out of the house and sat by the seaside. Verse 2. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. Verse 3, and he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up.
See, so what is this seed? What is Yahushua talking about? Who is the sower? So the sower are laborers in this vineyard, on this farmland, which is arable farmland. It's agricultural land. It's earth or soil that is fertile. That's the hopeful elect that can receive the seed into their minds, deeply planted. What is that seed, brother? Luke 8.
No, Luke 8, verse 11.
Con, is that the right one? The seed?
Con.
Yes.
Con.
Yes.
This is the book of St. Luke, chapter 8, verse 11.
Yep.
Now the parable is this. The seed is the word of the Most High.
The what?
The word of the Most High.
The water. Go back to what you had. So the seed is being sown into those that can receive it. When a man plant his seed into his wife, she also reduces oxytocin. So she becomes submissive to him through that acts of sex, which is to cut a hymen. So he begins to imprint his ways, his thoughts into her. That seed comes from the cerebellum. So it's brain fluid that mixes into that semen that begins to imprint and implant his way of thinking into her. Over time, she takes on his characteristics.
Right.
So the Most High is planting his spirit through the word. Read that again, Baba Kashah, the sower in the word. No, right where you left off.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 4. And it reads, and when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Verse 5.
Yep.
Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth.
So you got some out there that the word is going out, but it's not being deeply seated into their hearts and minds. They're being carried away with the winds of change, with the fad. You see, with the different lifestyles or what's in season at the time. So they're unstable ground. So the word is being picked apart by strange doctrines. Come on.
Verse 6. And it reads, and when the sun was up, they were scorched. And because they had no root, they withered away.
So they're not rooted in Yahushua. So the sun, the rain, the wind, the storms represent being tested through trial, tribulation, adversity. Come on.
Verse 7.
Yep.
And it reads, and some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them.
False teachers, thorns, briars. Come on.
Verse 8.
Yep.
But other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some an 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold.
So you got men that's teaching with different measures of faith and different measures of understanding. Different lots. Some are bringing in 100. Some are bringing in 1,000. Some are bringing in tens of thousands. Come on.
Verse 9. And it reads, who have ears to hear?
Yep.
Let them hear.
Come on.
And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables?
Yep. So the parables are dark sayings, shrouded in prophecy. The parables are mysteries from the heavenly realm for the elect. Come on.
Verse 11.
Yep.
And it reads, and he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven.
Yep.
But to them it is not given.
Oh my goodness gracious. You got something a lot? 1 Peter 3 and 8. 1 Peter 3 and 8. See? So when you're looking at a fertile soil, that soil has to be suitable for the seed to be dropped. So there is an elect according to the election of grace. Their minds are pre-postured. They are preordained, chosen before the foundation of the world. Why you think farmers go out and do what? Hand pick their soil. They pay big money. So they sacrifice to get fertile soil, rich and dark, suitable for a rich seed from on high to be planted. Come on, Bubba Kasha.
That's right. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous, not rendering evil for evil,
Yep.
or railing for railing, but contrawise,
Uh-huh.
blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing.
So being contrary to evil or corrupt communications. So the rich, fertile soil that has received the seed of the word are putting it to use and are going to reap the benefits of fresh fruit, of enriched vegetables, which are other seeds of the elect propping or springing forth that have been enriched, watered, fertilized, planted.
Romans chapter 13, verse 1.
Yes.
And it reads, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers,
Yep.
for there is no power but of God.
So the higher power is the word that is being planted into his elect. And he uses a left hand, right hand side architecture. So right now we're in captivity, bondage. Go back to what you had, Bubba Kasha.
Con, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8 from the top.
Yes.
Finally, be ye of all one mind,
Mm.
having compassion
Yep.
one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful,
Woo.
be courteous,
Uh-huh.
not railing evil for evil, or railing for railing, be contrariwise, blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing.
See, so a blessing is in it. That's what Isaiah 65. I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob. See that? What is that? He said one mind, one spirit. That's the spirit of the Most High. It's direct. It's pure. It's not changing. So it's an immutable truth. So this brings us together to be married to the Father. See? Come on, King.
Con, Romans 15,
Yes.
starting off at verse 5. Now the Most High of patience and constellation grant you to be like-minded one toward another, according to Hamashiach Yahushua,
Uh-huh.
that ye may with one mind and with one mouth, it's like that ye may with one mind and with one mouth glorify the Most High, even the Father of our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach.
See, that's beautiful. So the captive daughter of Zion has a mind well instructed, the elect that are open unto him with open hearts, open minds. Our doorway is open. So Yahushua can sup with us. Let's go back to Romans chapter 12 from the top.
Romans chapter 12, verse 1. And it reads, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
See? So we're open up to receive. That is a submissive, docile, meek, and humble posture. We got to put off pride, put off arrogance and malice, envy. So we got to bow down to our husband under his authority. Come on.
Verse 2.
Yes.
And it reads, and be not conformed to this world.
And what?
And be not conformed to this world.
Seduced by the ways of this world, the other gods, the ways of fleshly lust, concupiscence, wickedness, pride, jealousy, wrath. Come on.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind,
Uh-huh.
that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
So we're being imprinted of the spiritual marks of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, becoming married unto him, joined back to our heavenly sanctuary. We're being re-invited back into the holy place, the chambers, putting on the white robes and being cleaned up an entire restructured mindset. You got something, King?
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 37, verses 23 and 24. A wise man instructeth his people, and the fruits of his understanding fail not. A wise man shall be filled with blessing, and all they that see him shall count him happy.
Go back to 12, Romans 12, where you left off.
From the top. Sirach 37, verse 23 from the top. A wise man instructeth his people, and the fruits of his understanding fail not.
Woo.
A wise man shall be filled with blessing, and all that see him shall count him happy.
That's beautiful. See that? So the fruits sent from a heavenly realm, they reproduce. So one mustard seed has turned into what? A large vineyard that started off in America, Babylon, but it has spread forth into all of the continents on the earth, which are really, we're talking the four major continents. See that? So we're being fruitful by the works of our hands, laboring in the vineyard. Come on, back to Romans 12.
Romans chapter 12, once more from the top, and it reads, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Verse 3, and it reads, for I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith.
See that? As God has dealt to every man the measure of faith. So when a bride is preparing to meet her king, it's about a 12-month preparation and process. That's Esther chapter 2, verse 12. Right. She's got to be bathed in oils so she can smell good. So she's got to be replenished, refreshed, and she's dipped in water constantly. Right. So this is an entire makeover to be washed by the blood of the Lamb. Right. Be renewed in our spirit of thinking. So she's got to be humbled before she's presented to the king, before she goes into his bed chambers, his innermost confines. See? So this has to be a gradual working process of being developed and prepped and cleansed. She's got to be submissive unto him. Come on.
Verse 4, and it reads, for as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. So we being many are one body in Yahushua.
Yes.
And every one members one of another. Verse 6, and it reads, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith.
Come on.
Verse 7, and it reads, or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching. Verse 8, and it reads, or he that exhorteth, or exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence, he that showeth mercy with cheerfulness.
See, so what are we reading about? We're reading about the offices of the members of the body of Yahushua, the church. So first we got to be brought low in order to be lifted up. So we have to show due diligence, laboring, being placed in our lots, which are charged with responsibilities that's parsed out based on our measures of the gift of the Holy Spirit. Babukasha King, Romans 13.
Romans 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be ordained of the Most High. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of the Most High. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain.
So this is why we were put in captivity, so that we can be subject unto the rule that was placed over us for disobedience. So this is chastening. Does not the Bible say we got to present ourselves as a chaste virgin? See? So we have to be brought low in order to be lifted up high. We got to become chaste. So we have to be criticized. We have to be ridiculed. We have to be smitten in the dust of the earth, so that when we're washed up and cleaned, we can appreciate the reward of being welcomed into the king's chambers. Now we're going to have a better appreciation, because some of them chicks are for those streets.
That's right.
See? So this is the comely and delicate woman being washed up.
She for the streets.
She for them streets. See? The end of. This is not for you. Come on, King.
God. For he is the minister of the Most High,
2 Peter 1.
a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
Yep.
Wherefore, ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. For this cause pay ye tribute also, for they are the Most High's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing. Render therefore to all their dues tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor. Owe no man anything, but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law.
See that? So we're learning how to be obedient. We're learning how to be submissive. Does not the Bible say, before honor is humility? So we gotta look at this thing and really scrutinize it. That bride that's being prepared to meet the bridegroom, she must be submissive, humble, meek, lowly. If she's puffed up in pride, she's going to be combative, argumentative. Hence the laughing hyena that the passport bros are leaving, going overseas to meet. She's not ready for a king. She don't even know how to manage herself. So how is she going to be able to care for that household or his chambers?
Exactly.
Come on, Malak.
What the brother just quoted, Proverbs 15, verse 33. The fear of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is instruction. So like it's the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility.
Ooh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. So the tender and delicate, calmly and meek, humble bride must have a mind well instructed.
Just rolled right past, too.
Yep, proud as hell too.
Proud as a mother.
Where's that at? Well instructed.
Well instructed.
Yeah, I think it's Sirach 34. Sirach 34. I gotta take these gloves off. They messing with you.
Well instructed mind.
Yeah.
You talking about Silent 11? Or?
No, it's in Sirach. I'm trying to remember where it's at. One moment.
The law shall be found perfect without lies and wisdom.
A wife is has a mind well instructed. Sirach 26:14. See? Sirach 26. You got it?
Con.
Go to
Sirach
13.
Con. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 26, starting off at verse 13.
Yes.
The grace of a wife delighteth her husband,
Yep.
and her discretion will fatten his bones.
Uh-huh.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
See that? Did not this brother read the renewal of our mind in Romans chapter 12?
That's right.
So we got to get put off the old world, the old man, that grimy street Negro, And we got to become submissive and obedient to a higher power, which rests in the Most High's word, his authority. 2 Peter 1.
2 Peter chapter 1,
Yep.
verse 1. And it reads, Simon, Peter, a servant and an apostle of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach,
Yes.
to them that have obtained like precious faith with us through the righteousness of God and our Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
See, that knowledge is his what? His instruction, his word. See that? Come on.
Verse 2.
Yes.
And it reads, Grace and peace be multiplied unto you through the knowledge of God and of Yahweh Shai, our King.
Yep.
Verse 3, and it reads, according as his divine power have given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness through the knowledge of him that have called us to glory and virtue. Verse 4, and it reads, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust.
There it is right there. See that? No king want to lay down with a harlot that's been corrupted by other seeds, by different gods or lords or men. Incorruptible spirit is starting through the renewal of our minds and being washed by the word. So this is a divine power. This is a divine nature. This is a spiritual cleansing that cannot be compared to anything on this earth. Come on.
Verse 5.
Yep.
And it reads, and beside this giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge,
Yep.
and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness.
Come on. See that? So we're putting on a new covering. So the wedding garment is being furnished. Come on.
Verse 7.
Yes.
And to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity.
No, we can speak out against the brotherhood and say that the men of the Lord are just promoting hate and are warmongers. Read that again, Bubba Kasha.
Once more, verse 7. And it reads, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity.
Yep.
Verse 8.
What is charity? Charity is teaching, preaching this bread from heaven, this heavenly manna. This is charity. Come on.
Verse 8.
Yes.
For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. But he that lacketh these things is blind, and cannot see afar off, and have forgotten that he was purged from his old sins.
Cannot see afar off. See? So this vision is endowed to those that are anointed, that have the word deeply planted, that have the spirit of faith, truth, diligence, hard work, labor. So the husbandman is working from sun up to sundown, building to the kingdom to come, preparing for the great harvest, the end of the world, preparing to reap the benefits of his labors. Come on.
Verse 10, and it reads, wherefore thee rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall.
What is that diligence to make our calling and election sure? No days off.
That's right.
So when we're working for Master, I got here early for you today, boss. I checked in early, that way you didn't have to. I already got the coffee cup bowl and made for you, boss. The hot coffee is already hot. See?
We sick.
You sick, we sick, boss. See, you niggas got to go. I'm just telling you. That's a damn shame.
Little master called me sick.
And you're right, because there's one Jake in the job that always, as soon as he come in, he clock in, he go right to the manager. Hey, how you doing, boss? Hey, I got the report today. You know, these niggas is acting up, man. You know, he did this, he did that. They just, man, Jake is so consumed with the world, man.
Unbelievable.
They had an Ephraim, one of my recent jobs like that, man. As soon as he clocked in, he went right to the cave office. Hey, how you doing, boss? Everything going good? What's the report? Hey, man, you know, such and such is doing this and doing that. It's a sneaky devil, man.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And they can be worse than Esau.
Yeah, man.
Yup, worse than Esau.
The dude had the nerve to tell me, maybe you should go find a job where black people own it so you can have a better outcome.
Wow.
Yeah. I ain't, man.
Wow.
I know that dude for the rest of my
I worked for a guy like that in the military. He would be harder on people that look like him, so he can look good from his boss, an Edomite. So he would be cracking the whip on Jake's Israelites. That way he can get promoted. And he thinks he's one of them, but he's not. They just see you as a monkey. So you're wasting your time.
I'm equal with the
Yeah,
boss.
me and boss on the same level, same playing field, some shit.
We gonna have drinks together after work.
He still hates you. Period.
He hates your guts, man.
Yep. Can you read that again about that calling an election? Wow.
2 Peter
Yep.
chapter 1, verse 10. Once more, and it reads, wherefore thee rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall. Verse 11, for so an interest shall be ministered unto you abundantly unto the everlasting kingdom of our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yep.
Verse 12, wherefore I will not be negligent to put you always in remembrance of these things, though ye know them and be established in the present truth. Ye, I think it meet, as long as I am in the tabernacle, to stir you up by putting you in remembrance.
See that? So the Lord is, so the bride or Zion is not forsaken. So we were deemed forsaken. But he's telling us that he remembers his bride. He remembers when he carried us on his wings. So we were deemed or termed forsaken, but he is having mercy upon us. All right, go ahead, King.
Khan, this is the book of Psalms chapter 89, verse 34. Matter of fact, starting at verse 33. Nevertheless, my loving kindness will I not utterly take from him, nor suffer my faithfulness to fail. My covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that has gone out of my lips. Once have I sworn by my holiness that I will not lie unto David. His seed shall endure forever, and his throne as the sun before me.
See, that's beautiful. So the Most High is not a man that he can lie. See? So he promised to establish the throne of David. He promised to send the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to the Holy Lands and restore the tabernacle of David. He promised that the daughter of Zion will not be cast away forever. He promised that although we were called forsaken, he is going to rekindle the fire that he has for the captive daughter of Zion. Let's go to Isaiah 54 and 5. Baba Kasha.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 5, and it reads, for thy maker is thy husband.
Got something? Isaiah 62. Go ahead.
Once more.
Yep.
For thy maker is thy husband.
Wait a minute. Who planted the seed, the word, in his daughter, his wife? Who planted the seed? He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. As for the other nations, they have not known his judgments. Let's read that again.
For thy maker is thine husband.
Come on.
The Lord Yahweh of hosts.
Yes, sir.
Is his name.
Yep.
And thy Redeemer of the Holy One of Israel. The power of the whole earth shall he be called.
The Redeemer of Israel. Come on.
For the Lord Yahweh had called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit.
Hey, what?
Woman forsaken and grieved in spirit.
We were called castaways, forsaken. Is this the city of Zion? Come on.
And a wife of youth, when thou wast refused, said thy power.
Yep.
For a small moment have I forsaken thee.
Say, come on.
But with great mercies will I gather thee.
Yep.
In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment. But with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, say the Lord Yahweh, the Redeemer.
See that? So he's going to gather thee, who got scattered and was called castaways. The so-called Negroes and Native Americans and Latinos are the children of Israel. And you Edomites, get ready for captivity. That's your future.
That's right.
So the Lord is going to gather those that were deemed forsaken, castaways. See? Let's go.
For this is as the waters of Noah unto me.
For
as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should go no more go over the earth, so have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee nor rebuke thee.
Come on.
For the mountains shall depart and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, said the Lord Yahweh, to have mercy on thee.
So the hills of the other nations are going to be dissolved. The mountains and the governments of the heathen is going to be rocked and shake and tremble at the presence of the Lord. But he's going to have mercy on his holy mountain and bring forth a seed out of Jacob and plant his elect in the eternal kingdom to come forever. Come on, King.
God.
Isaiah 62.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 62, starting off at verse 1. For Zion's sake,
No, the whole world.
for Zion's sake,
Come on.
will I not hold my peace. And for Jerusalem's sake,
Yep.
I will not rest until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth.
Yep.
And the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all the kings thy glory.
Yep.
And thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua shall name. Thou shalt also be a crown of glory in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, a royal diadem in the hand of thy power.
And decked out in precious ornaments, precious stones.
Verse 4, thou shalt no more be trimmered,
Be turned.
terms like it. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land any more be termed desolate, but thou shalt be called
Hephzibah.
and thy land Bala.
Beulah. See, Hephzibah, that's a poetic name. A beautiful, delicate, or tender. See, and Beulah, it's a very poetic description of a woman. It's like when you're speaking to your woman and you're using words of endearment, terms of endearment. See, beautiful, gorgeous, no longer called a castaway. See, or termed forsaken. Come on.
For the Lord Yahweh delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married. For as a young man marrieth a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoiceth over the bride, so shall thy power rejoiceth over thee.
Beautiful.
I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day or night. Ye that make mention of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, keep not silence.
Well, that's why we're teaching every day. This is the laborer. This is the work in the vineyard. Teaching daily. The vineyard got to be watered daily. The flock, the sheep, they got to be fed daily. See?
Right.
So nothing stops in the Lord's vineyard. The laborers, the husbandmen are diligently working to make our calling and election sure. So if you're not laboring in this truth, then you're not a part of the Lord's vineyard.
That's right.
Now you can do that in alms. You can do that in helping to promote the ministry, posting scriptures, teaching, preaching. See? Sharing the videos. Not everybody is a prophet. But if you're sitting on your ass, shut your ass up. Come on, King. You got something else?
I can read the rest of this.
Okay.
Verse 7. And give him no rest till he establish,
Yes.
until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
Uh-huh.
Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai have sworn by his right hand and by his arm of his strength, surely I will no more give thy corn to be meat for thine enemies.
Beautiful.
And the sons of the stranger shall not drink thy wine, for the which thou hast labored.
That's beautiful. See that? Remember Esther 2, verse 11 and 12, where the young damsel had to be bathed in oil, water, flowers, myrrh. She had to be cleaned up, renewed. She had to be trained on how to serve, which means brought low. And she had to learn meekness, humility, subservience, obedience. Let's get this. Revelation 19, verse 6. And I heard, as it were, the voice of a great multitude, and as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of mighty thunderings, saying, Hallelujah, for the Lord God omnipotent reigns. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints.
Woo!
So it is a metaphor, analogy, a dark saying. The saints are being cleaned up and set back in order. See? So when the men get in order, the women get in order.
That's right.
The children get in order.
That's right.
Come on.
Isaiah chapter 52,
Yes, sir.
verse 1, and it reads, Awake,
Do what?
awake,
It's time to rise up out of sleep. Come on.
put on thy strength, O Zion,
Uh-huh.
put on thy beautiful garments,
Yep.
O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake thyself from the dust,
Uh-huh.
arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Lose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion,
Oh, what?
captive daughter of Zion.
Slaves. Come on.
For thus said the Lord Yahweh, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money.
Yep.
For thus said the Lord Yahweh, our power,
Uh-huh.
my people went down aforetime into Egypt
Yep.
to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause.
Are we not under oppression now? The Edomites. We're called black, Negro. We're called slaves, 3/5 of a man. We're called stepping fetches, monkeys, apes. We are the people of ancient Egypt that built ancient Egypt. Pithom and Ramses. We built the empires of the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, the Romans. America was built on the blood of our ancestors. Come on.
Verse 5, and it reads, Now therefore, what have I here, said the Lord Yahweh, that my people is taken away for naught, that they rule over them, make them to howl, said the Lord Yahweh.
They that rule over them, make them to howl. You're not bringing in enough cotton. I'm going to crack the whip on you. I'm going to increase your load, your workload. I'm going to crack the whip. I'm going to make you bring in more cotton and peas. Your cucumber weight in the bucket is too low. You're not going to get away with adding sand to the bottom of the bucket either. So I'm going to further the affliction your laborers. 3/5 of a man, slaves, black, Negro. They that rule over them make them to howl. Read that again, Malak.
Once more.
Yes.
Verse 5. And it reads, now therefore, what have I here, said the Lord Yahweh, that my people is taken away for naught?
Yep.
They that rule over them make them to howl, say the Lord Yahweh.
Saith the Lord.
And my name continually every day is blasphemed.
No, we can just keep calling on Jeebus cross and worship the golden retriever. Every day his name is blasphemed. Allah, Jeebus. See? Come on.
Verse 6.
Yep.
And it reads, therefore my people should know my name. Therefore they should know in that day that I am he that doeth speak. Behold, it is I.
Yep.
How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publish peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publish salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy power reigneth.
Thy power reigneth. So we know the works of his glory, because his word is showing to be true and faithful. We see the sea hip developing. We see Gog and Magog being revved up. Hooks are being put in the jaws of Russia. So we're seeing the economic collapse. Other nations ditching the US dollar. So we're seeing that what he told us is true. So it is he that speaks truth. It is he that can foresee. It is he that told us we would go into slavery with ships. It is the same voice that's telling us to awake and shake off the dust and to arise, to be delivered out of the land barren and desolate, the land of our oppression. You got something, King?
Come. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23.
Yep.
Starting off at verse 19.
Beautiful.
Behold, a whirlwind of the Lord Yahweh is gone forth in fury.
Yep.
Even a grievous whirlwind, it shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. The anger of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days.
In the what?
In the latter days. Ye shall consider it perfectly.
See that? So how can you say we're not living in the Bible days when the Bible is talking about the latter days? That means you're bugged out. The Bible is a living, breathing word. It is the past. It is the present. It is the right now. It is the future. It is talking about things that have been, things that are, and things that are to be.
That's right.
So in the latter days, the chariots of the Lord are going to smite the heathen, the wicked, the so-called UFOs of the chariots of the Lord. There's a reason they stood up a 24-hour, 7 days a week UFO task force. A day of reckoning is coming. A day of payback is coming. The day of the Lord is coming. The day of the Lord is coming. It's near. It's time to rise up. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 1 and 4.
2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 4. And it reads, Who comforteth us in all our tribulation?
Who does what?
Comforteth us in all our tribulation.
We're being comforted by the word of peace. Come on.
That we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble.
We're teaching to bring comfort to the captive daughter of Zion. Come on.
By the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted of God. For as the sufferings of Yahweh abound in us, so our consolation also aboundeth by Hamashiach.
By his stripes we are healed. Suffering is promotion. We can't just waltz or tap dance or step into the kingdom being wretched. Come on.
Verse 6.
Yes.
And it reads, and whether we be afflicted.
Whether we what?
Be afflicted.
Come on.
It is for your consolation and salvation, which is effectual
Yep.
in the enduring of the same sufferings which we also suffer. Or whether we be comforted,
Yep.
it is for you, your consolation and salvation.
See that? So we got to suffer, walk the walk of our Lord and Savior. He was afflicted. He was beat. He was falsely accused, whipped, smacked, kicked, and hung. He died a so-called black man's death. Hung. See that? So we got to earn our stripes, earn our spurs. Oh, what you got? We're going to go to him.
In the back of what you said about Yahushua taking giving us some stripes, basically what the Bible speaks. Isaiah 53, starting off at 4. Surely he have borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of the Most High, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities.
Yep.
The chastisement of our peace was upon him. And with his stripes, we are healed. And with his stripes, we are healed. So you, Yah only Israelites, Salakia Raj, you, Yah only Israelites, explain Isaiah 53. Please.
Right.
Explain that. You Old Testament Israelites, explain that. And you Yah Israelites.
Yes. I thought the Savior was not in the Old Testament. Why are we reading about him? By his stripes, when he was whipped and beat and hung. You Old Testament, Yah.
And Salakia, what is this? This is before it even happened.
It's heavy, bro. That is heavy. I think Isaiah was on the scene about 580 years prior to the Messiah. Hey, the Most High is a bad man. So he's telling you this man is going to be sent to die for the nation of Israel. You know where I want to go. John 11 and 49.
Let's go.
He told you what was going to happen. He told you that the 2/3 Israelites would give him up. He came into his own, and his own received him not. Let's go back to where you left off, Baba Kasha.
2 Corinthians,
Yes.
chapter 1, verse 7.
Go back to 6.
Verse 6,
Yep.
once more, and it reads, and whether we be afflicted, it is for your consolation and salvation,
Yep.
which is effectual in the enduring of the same sufferings which we also suffer. Or whether we be comforted, it is for your consolation and salvation. Verse 7, and it reads, and our hope of you is steadfast, knowing that as ye are partakers of the sufferings, so shall ye be also of the consolation.
So we must drink his blood and eat his flesh. He labored and sweated through diligence. We must labor and sweat through diligence, hard work. We must present ourselves as a sacrifice. We're drinking the blood of the Lamb and eating the flesh of our Creator, of our Lord. Come on.
Verse 8, and it reads, for we would not, brethren, have you ignorant of our trouble which came to us in Asia.
Yep.
That we were pressed out of measure, above strength, insomuch that we despaired even of life.
Despaired, life-threatening events. See? Putting ourselves in harm's way. Not caring about what man can do to us. Come on.
Verse 9.
Yes.
And it reads, but we had the sentence of death in ourselves, that we should not trust in ourselves,
Yep.
but in God which raiseth the dead.
So we got to fear him that have power to destroy both soul and body in hell. But just now. Come on.
Verse 10.
Yes.
And it reads, who delivered us from so great a death, and doeth deliver, in whom we trust that he may, Salaki, in whom we trust that he will yet deliver us. Verse 11.
No, that's good. So we're trusting in the power source. When you got a phone, you're not worrying about an outlet that cannot recharge your battery. So we got to plug in to the source that gives us energy, strength, that controls life and death, but not fear the physical substance of man. Let's go to John 11:49. Baba Kachar.
Khan, this is the book of St. John, chapter 11, verse 49. And one of them, named Cephas, is that right?
Cephas.
Cephas. And one of them, named Cephas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one of the children of the Most High that were scattered abroad.
So he came to die for those that were scattered abroad, that went into slavery. So he was prophesied to die for the nation of Israel, and that nation only. Why? So he can reestablish the tabernacle of David. That's the ruling, governing authority, prophesied to be rebuilt in the last days. We read about it in the Old Testament. You bug out that don't believe the Messiah is in the Old Testament. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 15 and let's go to 54.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 54. And it reads, So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption,
taking on the seed of the Most High, his spirit. Read that again.
Once more. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 54. And it reads, So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory.
So the spirit of the Lord's mouth, his word, it grows. It slowly matures. Just like a plant, when you plant it in fertile soil, it begins to expand. It widens, and then it grows up, a large tree. So it becomes a cedar, immortal, that never dies, and continues to reproduce, and continues to spread forth and out. See? So the spirit starts with the word. A small seed becomes a large living tree of immortality. We got to understand what we read. Come on.
Verse 55. And it reads, O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin.
What?
The sting of death is sin.
We'll no longer be able to sin anymore under the second covenant, becoming immortals because of the spirit that is going to be full blossom. Come on.
And the strength of sin is the law.
Woo. Come on.
But thanks be to God, which giveth us the victory through our Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable always.
On what?
Unmovable always.
So we're taking on the characteristics and the traits of our husband. He is immortal. He is perfect. He is all-powerful, all-knowing. So we're going to take on the seed of our Heavenly Father. My goodness, was not Yahushua created to be immortal? Was not man made to be immortal? So we're going to transform, reshape, retool, redevise, and develop to become like the Most High. Sons of the living power. Yasharallah. He is a prince of the power. Come on.
It's the book of Philippians chapter 3, starting off at verse 20.
Let's go.
For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the salvation the Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who shall change our vile body.
Who shall do what?
Who shall change our vile body,
Let's go.
that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself.
This is beautiful. We're taking on the seed of living waters. We're taking on the seed of eternal life, eternal truth. So this is a slow metamorphosis. We're being shaped and changed in the image of the Heavenly Father. The Most High created his Son in his image. The Word made flesh. Come on.
Verse 58, once more, and it reads, Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable always, abounding in the work of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain.
No, we're going to take 10 months off and call ourselves a man of the Lord. Or boast about being 60 years old, eating peanuts and drinking coffee. Shut your ass up. The Bible just said unmovable. We're sick of you damn lazy, lame men out there. Hey, read that again for the damn slow bellies.
Once more. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua.
Always abounding. When you look at a farm or a vineyard or an orchard, you see workers, you see laborers, you see them pushing and towing and pulling and digging and banging, laboring in the Lord's vineyard. His kingdom being developed. His tabernacle is being built. So we got a house that's being built. We got fruits of our labor that's being shaped and developed, watered by the springs of eternal life, teaching, preaching, giving diligence to make our calling and election sure. Come on.
Con, it's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 13. Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is.
See that? So the fire tries our pureness. If it's made or built on the foundation of truth, then it's gold that's just going to burn out the impurities. So gold is not being destroyed. That's built on a solid rock. The pure truth, silver, is left over in the dust or the dirt. It survives the cataclysmic fire, the silver and gold. So the work's got to be built on the pureness of everlasting truth. Read that again, Bubba Kashaw.
Con.
Yeah.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 13.
We got to keep going about that wood and all that other unfruitful works. Come on.
Every man's work
Yep.
shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is.
Now that fire is the fiery trial of adversity. That's what's going to end in nuclear devastation. Come on.
Verse 14. If any man's work abide which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man's work shall be burnt, he shall suffer loss. But he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire.
So when that chip comes around, if you're not deeply grounded in faith, if you're not deeply grounded in fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, it's going to be revealed. You're not going to be able to fake the funk anymore. See? All things get revealed through fire, which is a purifier. Come on.
2 Corinthians chapter 9,
Yes.
verse 6, and it reads, But this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly.
Read that again. Who are sowing sparingly? The lazy, sick, lame, and excuse makers. I got arthritis. I can't work today. but you showed up the boss to make his damn coffee. Stop playing, Jake.
Okay, Raj,
Go ahead, King.
I know you noticed, man. I know y'all noticed too, man. It's always the Jakes
Same
that
niggas.
have no works,
Yep.
no sacrifice, no nothing, but yet they come on your comment board
Uh-huh.
want to tell you how you need to be prophesying and preaching and teaching, and tell you how that don't sound right. That breakdown is wrong. But yet you have no works.
Right.
Jake always want to give advice and ain't doing a damn thing, man.
Con. But they got all the answers though.
Exactly.
But we're wrong. Unbelievable. You got to read. That's a heavy body shot right there.
Once more, 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6.
Yes.
And it reads, "But this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly. And he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Every man according as his purpose in his heart,
Yeah.
so let him give, not grudgingly
Yep.
or of necessity.
Uh-huh.
For God loveth a cheerful giver."
God loves a cheerful giver. So complaining to labor for the Lord is an offense. The murmurers, the backbiters, the backstabbers. Why we got to go out today? I don't feel good. I don't feel like it. I got other stuff to do. Eve has Mrs. Cooch ready for me. See? So you'll speed and get a speeding ticket for that. But to labor for the Lord, all of a sudden your legs hurt. Yeah, exactly. Tired of the games, Jake.
Hey, walk in the snow. I'm on the way, baby. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
You done got in a car accident trying to go see Mrs. Pooch. See? Read that again, King. Yeah, that last verse.
Verse 7.
Yes.
Once more. And it reads, "Every man according as he purposeth in his heart,
Uh-huh.
so let him give, not grudgingly
Yep.
or of necessity.
Uh-huh.
For God loveth a cheerful giver.
Yep. Come on.
And God is able to make all grace abound toward you, that ye, always having all sufficiency in all things, may abound to every good work."
So he blesses based on the spirit of sincerity that's within us. Come on.
As it is written,
Yep.
he have dispersed abroad,
He has what?
dispersed abroad,
Uh-huh. Come on.
he have given to the poor.
Uh-huh.
His righteousness remaineth forever.
So the charity is going out to the downtrodden, the poor, the oppressed, the hopeless are being fed, are being clothed, are being nourished, are getting the thirst quenched and the scratch and the itch scratch by the word being taught. Let's get that in 2 Esdras chapter 2.
Con, this is 2 Esdras chapter 2, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Mother, embrace thy children
Come on.
and bring them up with gladness.
Uh-huh.
Make their feet as fast as a pillar.
Yep.
For I have chosen thee,
Uh-huh.
saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Yes.
And those that be dead will I raise up again from their places
Yep.
and bring them out of the graves, for I have known my name in them. Fear not, thou mother of the children, for I have chosen thee, saith the Lord Yahweh. For thy help will I send my prophets, Isaiah,
Isaiah and Jeremiah.
God, Isaiah and Jeremiah.
But we can start read it again.
God, 2 Esdras chapter 2, verse 18 from the top.
Uh-huh.
For thy help will I send my servants, Isaiah and Jeremiah, after whose counsel I have sanctified and prepared for thee 12 trees laden with diverse fruits.
So the kingdom is being prepared. The 12 trees, the zodiac, entering into the kingdom through labor, the vineyard. Come on.
God, verse 19.
Yep.
And as many fountains flowing with milk and honey, and 7 mighty mountains were upon their grow rows.
Yep.
It's like it grow roses and lilies, whereby I will fill thy children with joy.
Yep.
Do right to the widow.
Do what?
Do right to the widow.
Come on.
Judge for the fatherless.
Yep.
Give to the poor.
Uh-huh.
Defend the orphan. Clothe the naked.
Yep.
Heal the broken and the weak. Laugh not a lame man to scorn. Defend the maimed and let the blind man come into the sight of my clearness. Keep the old and young within thy walls. Wheresoever thou findest the dead, take them and bury them, and I will give thee the first place in my resurrection.
See that? Woo! So the meek, the poor, those that were called castaways, those that were called rejects, forsaken,
That's right.
are being nourished and fed milk and honey through the scriptures. What is that mother? A Sophia, a nurturing spirit. Say that again, King.
It sounds like Ezekiel 37 a little bit.
Oh yeah, Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dry bones. See? So our bones are being fattened up. This is beautiful. Come on, 1 Corinthians 3 and 6.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6. And it reads,
Okay.
I have planted, Apollos watered, but the Most High gave the increase. So then, neither is he that planteth anything.
So hey, this is not that Apollo, our Lord. Our Lord is the fountain of living waters. That Apollos, it's our Lord. He is the way, the truth, and the life, and the fountains of living waters. We're going to come back to you. Hold that. John 7 and 38, Baba Kashah.
John 7, verse 38.
Yes.
He that believeth on me,
Uh-huh.
as the scripture hath said,
Yep.
out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Shall flow what?
Rivers of living water.
Beautiful. My goodness. Go back to what you got, Baba Kashah.
Verse 7, once more. So then, go back to 6.
Yep.
Verse 6, Salaki. I have planted, Apollos watered,
Uh-huh.
but the Most High gave the increase.
So the Most High sends his seed, his spirit from above. Come on.
So then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but the Most High that giveth the increase. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one.
They're on one accord, which means they're in agreement. The Son with the Father. Come on.
And every man should receive his own reward according to his own labor.
Goodness. See, we got to seek out our own salvation. Where's that at, King? I think it's Philippians 2.
I got it.
Yep, see that? Read that again, Baba Kashah.
Verse 8, once more. And it reads, now he that planteth and he that watereth are one. And every man should receive his own reward according to his own labor.
Yep.
For we are laborers together with the Most High.
Yes.
Ye are God's husbandry.
Husbandry, his laborers, his servants, working in the vineyard of his garden, building the kingdom. Come on.
Ye are God's building.
Woo! His building, the tabernacle of David, is being raised up. The holy temple, the tabernacle, the holy place. Read that again, Baba Kashah.
Verse 9.
Yes.
Once more. And it reads, for we are laborers together with the Most High.
Yep.
Ye are God's husbandry.
Mm-hmm.
Ye are God's building. According to the grace of God which is given unto me.
By the election of grace. Come on.
As a wise master builder.
The prophets are what?
Master builder.
A wise master builder. The men of the Lord. Been gifted with the Holy Spirit. A ancient spirit that search all things. You all right, read that again. That last verse.
According to the grace of God which is given unto me.
Yes.
As a wise master builder.
Yep.
I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon.
Mm-hmm.
But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon.
Yes.
For other foundations can no man lay than that is laid.
So we can't build. Go ahead.
Which is Yahawashi HaMashiach.
So we can't build on a foundation of Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Confucianism, Zoroastrianism. See? The true building that lasts forever is built on the fundamental principles of wisdom sent from on high. Yahweh Shai. You got that, King?
Come. Philippians chapter 2,
Yes.
verse 12.
Yep.
Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in now my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Yep.
For it is the Most High which worketh in you, both to will and to do of his good pleasure.
So this is not a spectator sport. This is not something to just sit back on the sideline and clap your hands like a seal. This is about doing, to be doers, not just hearers only. Let's go to James 1.
I just about to grab that.
Yep. James 1. I have to start at the top. We're probably going to close out there. Yep. James 1 is fire. You got it, King?
Come. It's the book of St. James chapter 1, verse 1.
Yes.
James, a servant of the Most High.
Hey, what?
A servant of the Most High.
A servant performs service, ministry, work, husbandry. What does husband mean? To plant, a planter. So we're planting the seeds of truth, giving from our Heavenly Father through Yahweh Shai. Read it again, Baba Kashab.
Come. St. James chapter 1, verse 1.
Yes.
James, the servant of the Most High,
Yep.
and of the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greetings,
Salvation is to the elect of the dispersed. Come on.
my brethren. Count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
See, so we're going to be tempted and tested. The ultimate test is going to be the C-hip, the Mach B. See, that's going to be the ultimate test. But right now, we're paying taxes on top of taxes. We're paying water bill. Water is natural. Why the hell we're paying for water? We're paying for electricity, light, sewage, trash, county tax, local tax, city tax. So we're subject to payments. Read that again, Baba Kasha.
Come.
Yeah.
Starting off verse 2. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have perfect work,
Beautiful.
that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing.
Beautiful.
If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed.
So you're unstable. You become tossed and turned. You're not built upon a chief cornerstone. Did not this brother read in 1 Corinthians 3 that Apollos, which our Lord watered, and the Most High gave the increase? See? So the stable ground is built on that one foundation that he read, which is Yahweh Shai. Come on, King.
Come. Verse 7. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Ain't no C-hip. If it was in there, it would say RFID in the Bible. Well, does it say missile in the Bible?
America.
Where's America in the Bible? So you men are bugged out, but you won't humble down and make supplication and apologize to the brotherhood. Show me America in the Bible. Talking about where's the chip in the Bible. Go ahead, King.
And Salaki Rosh, and that whole, what he's referring to is them Wi-Fi cats, man.
Yeah.
The lesson that they made, they didn't even go into the how we gonna buy and sell if it's not the C-hip. They didn't even go into, the only thing they went into is GMS is wrong and we're right. We don't have to prove nothing to them old niggas.
Right.
We run it now. You humble down and shut up.
Wow.
Man, you young jakes, man, the Lord gonna deal with y'all, man.
Uh-huh. You're gonna destroy these wild coyotes. They're just savage rebels instead of humbling down. They're trying to play little semantics. Where's missiles in the Bible? Where's RFID chip in the Bible? You know damn well the Bible speaks in dark sayings, similitudes. Hey, go to Hosea 12 and 10.
And Salaki Ra'ash,
go
if I
ahead.
may real quick. He also said Alex Jones got the revelation. What about Nebuchadnezzar when Nebuchadnezzar got a dream? What about all these other heathens that got dreams and Israelites had to break it down?
Right. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What about Balaam that saw the Israelites taking the kingdom down and doing valiantly? See? He was a Moabite, you damn devils. What about him? These young men are crazy.
But you know the scriptures, Salaki.
Right. Hosea 12 and 10. How does the Most High speak to us? Yeah, let's read that. You're not going to see no nuclear missile in the Bible, you damn animals. You know you playing games. Come on, brother.
Hosea
Yeah.
chapter 12, verse 10. And it reads, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets.
Exactly. So that C-Hip or Mach B came to us in visions through a spiritual message, the Bible, and prophets, the mouthpiece of the Lord. You young men are proud. What you got, King?
I'm about to grab this right here.
Okay.
What is this? Yep. This is the book of Joel, chapter 2, starting off at verse 28.
Yes.
And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh.
Beautiful.
And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit.
Read the first 4.
So not only is Israel going to get, stuff revealed to them, heathens are going to get stuff revealed to them in visions, man.
Yep.
You had a Muslim woman talking about she saw the coming of Yahushua, man, and she clearly described Yahushua to a T, man. She didn't want to say he was a black man, but his color was just like mine, but a little bit darker.
Yeah.
He had an afro.
Yep.
Crying.
Beautiful. Even the Edomites are seeing visions of them going in chains. There was an old Edomite, this video going around. This old ass Edomite man was terrified. He was like, oh my God, I saw a bunch of men and they were grabbing me and putting me in chains. That's what's coming. So you see, the Most High pouring out his spirit upon all flesh. And this old man was scared as hell. That's why they made the 1968 movie, Planet of the Apes. We coming. We're coming.
That's right.
Yup. Tabernacle of David is coming. Let's go. Psalm 78. We're going to read the first 4. These young men are playing games. Come on, brother.
Psalms chapter 78, verse 1. And it reads, give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable.
I will do what?
Open my mouth in a parable.
A parable, a dark saying. Come on.
I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us.
So this is only intended to those that receive the word in the first place, which our fathers have known and have told us. So the Spirit calls things back into remembrance. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Eve just walked. You see that?
I ain't surprised.
She just rolled by with a wig on looking angry at us. I mean, look, man, we got to get the hell.
Some shit locks.
I can't breathe. We got to get the hell out of here, man.
You see what she like?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
We crooked with balls.
Exactly.
Keep that same energy when all hell break loose.
Hey, wig crooked got a bald spot in the wig, mad as hell.
With a simp driving.
And we ain't got nothing to do with that, man. The damn devil did all that. And she riding by looking at us like it's a drive-by. I started to get down, man. What the hell is this? The boys in the hood.
He just got marked.
Yeah, she just got marked. Hey, read that again, King.
Psalms.
Drive by.
Psalms chapter 78.
Yep.
To the top.
Yeah, we'll go back to that and stop
back
at
to
4.
okay.
Yeah.
Once more, verse 1, and it reads, give ear, O my people,
Yep.
to my law.
Yes.
Incline your ears to the words of my mouth.
Uh-huh.
I will open my mouth in a parable.
Yep.
I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers had told us.
Yep.
We will not hide them from their children,
Uh-huh.
showing to the generation to come the praises of the Lord Yahweh and his strength and his wonderful works that he have done.
See that? The generations to come. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy fathers, and they shall tell thee. The ancient spirits are the fathers, the prophets, the mighty men. See? The elders. They are the spiritual fathers. I'm going to go back to you, King, and James.
God, it's the book of St. James chapter 1, verse 20. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word.
The what?
The engrafted word, which is able to save your soul.
So they're envious. I'm just going to get my jab back because they've proven us wrong. The men of the great millstone. So they're just teaching just to be right, to prove themselves right. So it's no longer about salvation or the gospel, but it becomes a pissing contest. See? It's a game now to them. That's fire, brother. Please read that again.
Come. St. James chapter 1, from the top, verse 20.
Yeah.
For the wrath of man worketh not righteousness of the Most High. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul.
This is about salvation. It's not about you hit me, I'm going to get my lick back.
Exactly.
This is not high school.
That's right.
Let's get that number on 21.
God.
Yep.
You said,
I'm sorry, through 25.
Okay, verse 22. Be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
We got to do the work in sincerity. Come on.
Deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
See that? So he begins to take on the spirit of Cain. Envious, murderous, wrathful. He just wants his lick back. Is that 25? Is that the last one? All right.
But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed.
Beautiful. There it is. See that? So this is about a diligent, sincere service. It's not about I outshine you.
Exactly.
Your heart is not right. We can how about Shem Yahushua? Continue in the word, which is able to save your soul. Beautiful. Philippians 1 and 14.
Philippians chapter 1, verse 14.
Yes.
And it reads, and many of the brethren in the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, waxing confident by my bonds, are much more bold to speak the word without fear.
Yep.
Some indeed preach the Hamashiach even of envy and strife.
Read it again.
Some indeed preach Hamashiach even of envy and strife, and some also of goodwill. The one preach the Hamashiach of contention, not sincerely supposing to add affliction to my bonds, but the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. What then? Notwithstanding, every way, whether in pretense or in truth.
3 and 15. See that? So it's not about being contentious. It's not about a damn rap contest or rap battle. All right? And everybody all cheering on the sideline. Whoa, you hear that? You gonna let him get that to you? You see? You gotta do something, Art. Get back at him. No, it's not about that. And you always got those cheerleaders on the side. Ooh, monkeys. Right.
Hey, that's exactly what they doing, man.
God.
Hey, Salaki Raj, I watched the video, man. They have no structure, no guidance, no integrity, no humility, no nothing, man. You got women on their comment board that was talking big shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say it like that. They was talking big shit, like just being completely disrespectful, man. Running their mouth left and right, but yet they ain't correcting their followers, man.
Wow.
But it is what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's sad too. And see, Jake, you don't realize the magnitude of this ministry. This thing is going to blow up. And I mean that literally and figuratively. It's going to escalate into being afflicted by the government, chased out of our homes, families being displaced. We might have to go live out in the woods some damn where, in the cold. Does not the Bible say, be ye as pilgrims in those days? So this is not a game. It's not about right back at you. It's not about, am I right? It's what the word says, and it's what the prophecies say.
That's right.
That's speaking to us. It's not about trying to prove how big of a man we are. Many young men are in the grave trying to get a lick back or prove how manly you are. This thing is bigger than the flesh, than us. Let's close out with you, Malak.
Khan, this is 2 Timothy chapter 3.
Yep.
So verse 14.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes.
Khan, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned, and hast been assured of knowing of whom thou hast learned them, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith which is in Hamashiach Yahushua. All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
My goodness, the engrafted word restores us. It replenishes our house. It's setting things back in order. When the Spirit moves in, then the house got to be in order. The old man got to be purged out. The old dirty laundry. The old dirty man. We're being furnished with the works of the Spirit that searcheth all things. So we're being set back in order. How do we pray? I pray that thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So the Spirit does not dwell in an unclean house.
That's right.
Properly furnished and thoroughly prepared and arranged according to the Master's use. Who did we learn it from? Remember where we learned it from, our fathers, the prophets. Let's close out with Job 8 and 7 and then 8. Okay, cool.
Job chapter 8, verse 6, and it reads, if thou wert pure and upright,
Yes.
surely now he would awake for thee and make the habitation of thy righteousness prosperous.
Yep.
Verse 7, though thy beginning was small, yet thy latter end shall greatly increase.
So how do we get sanctified? By this doctrine, this pure word. Come on.
For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
To the what?
Search of their fathers.
The ancient spirits are our spiritual fathers. See? Let's read that again, brother. 8 and then go to 9.
For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow. Shall not they teach thee and tell thee the other words out of their heart? Can the rush grow up without mire? Can the flag grow without water? Whilst it is yet in his greenness and not cut down, it withereth before any other herb.
So we got to be planted by living waters that are non-stop, or the garden dies, the fruits die, the vineyard falls apart if it's not constantly set in place by the source of our life. See? Wait a minute, we've been taught feminism. I thought it said search the way of our fathers. We've been taught to listen to Big Mama since growing up. Not Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But listen to what Big Mama is saying. That kicked the man's ass out of the house. Come on.
Verse 13.
Yes.
And it reads, so are the paths of all that forgot God, and the hypocrite's hope shall perish.
Let's go back to 9. That's another point, and then we'll read 10 again. Yup, back to 9. Yup.
Job, chapter 8, verse 9.
Yes.
Once more, and it reads, for we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow. Shall not they teach thee and tell thee and utter words out of their heart?
See that? So the only way we can get access to eternity is through the pure spirit of eternal wisdom. That's why we need the Holy Spirit. Because our time on the small plane of life is as a breath. That's it. When you look at how old the earth is, approximately 12,000 years old. When you look at our lifespan, it's only a small breath. So we got to get access to the Most High's breath of eternal wisdom. Where's which go? 10? Okay, come on.
Verse 10.
Yes.
And it reads, shall not they teach thee and tell thee and utter words out of their heart?
Yep.
Can the rush grow up without mire? Can the flag grow without water?
Yep.
Whilst it is yet in his greenness and not cut down, it withereth before any other herb. So are the paths of all that forgot God, and the hypocrite's hope shall perish, whose hope shall be cut off, and whose trust shall be a spider's web. He shall lean upon his house, but it shall not stand. He shall hold it fast, but it shall not endure.
So we're reading out of Job. How can we learn from this passage? Look what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. Ancient Sodom and Gomorrah. They were not built on the will of the Most High. Look what happened to the old David dynasty under King David. They veered out of the path of the will of the Heavenly Father. So when we deviate from the will of God and we follow our own lusts, our flesh, then we begin to slide on a slippery slope into a pit of destruction, hell, and damnation. So we got to build on a sure foundation. Does not the Bible say King David pleased the Most High and was a man after the Most High's heart, which is his mind, his word? Is not the word a spirit? It is the spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are life and they are spirit. So the only sure way to eternal life is following the will of the eternal Creator. You got something, King? Come on.
It's the book of St. John, chapter 4, starting off at verse 22. Matter of fact, verse 23. But the hour cometh, and now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For For the Father seeketh such to worship him. The Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
The putting on the incorruptible spirit that cannot falter, that never fades away, that does not die. So when we're in his goodwill and pleasure, we take on his eternal essence. I know that's clear, but we can't live in the flesh which dies and expect eternal life. It doesn't work that way. My goodness, Bubakasha, the water. I love it, brothers. I love it. There was one more on my brain, and I drew a brain fart. Yeah, I know. Well, we'll get ready to close out there. So if we look at these ancient kingdoms that fell, that collapsed, ancient Rome, more recently, in secular history, America is modeled after it. Look at the dollar. Over 200 nations done ditched the U.S. dollar. Their allies are leaving them. Saudi Arabia, Turkey. See? They're starting to turn their back on the daughter of Babylon. They got internal division. Edomites against Edomites, the left against the right. Domestic so-called terrorism that don't agree with the mainstream. So this place is falling and being gutted out or rotten, decaying from the inside out. We'll close it there. So nothing changes or gets better without action. That's why we got the book of Acts. It takes men to do something. Who will rise up for me? Who will rise up for me against the evil doers? And who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? So it takes an action to get things moving that moves mountains, which starts from our faith. And faith without works is dead. I'm going to face the east. All praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honor and respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Much respect and honor to the beloved brothers that are doing the work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and freedom to do so, pushing this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad. Much love to the beloved Akim that are out there working in sincerity, diligently, and laboring and making yourselves a living sacrifice. And to the beloved ladies, the Akwaf, that are learning in meekness and humility. The beloved ladies of the hopeful elect of the house of David. Barakatam and Shalom. We got next, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
And the Bible.
Bible ball.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yep, Shabbat Shalom.
I'm starting to get a little nippy out this bad boy.
Yeah, it's starting to get old. Yeah, this thing. I told you about that Ja Rule, J-A-H, then space R-U-L-E. Y'all teaching wrong doctrines. Bugged out.
Dog.
Yeah.
You ain't got the right word, dog.
These people are crazy.
I'm telling you, man. Jake wicked as hell, man.
Yeah, they don't know the Lord's going to use them, though, to fuel the fire.
And it's always the Jakes that don't do no work. Hey, brother, man, you know you're wrong. You're wrong. No works, no nothing.
Yep. But they got all the answers, though. Unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
Let's see who we got on here. Hey, the reason I didn't go to the comment board, Esau disconnected my iPad.
Wow.
Damn devil.
I wish you'd have said so we could use my phone.
Oh, man. Oh, okay.
Anytime it happens, just let me know you can use my phone. I'll click on your lesson.